Okay, homies, what's up? I figured I would do a kind of an update on my EDC since I touched on an earlier vid about changing out your carry guns. So a few things have changed. I'd like to think of them as somewhat of an improvement. I kind of slimmed things down, lightened things up. First off, I stopped carrying a backup gun. Not because the M&P Shield was a bad gun or I had any problems with it. I liked the idea of carrying a backup, but I was starting to kind of, I don't know, feel some lower back and like hip issues with it because I carried it on my opposite side, on my weak side, on the left hand, and for some reason when I was in and out of the car and sitting around driving, it was just digging into me. I can't explain why. I had a good holster. I have an NSR holster for it, and obviously a good belt. I don't know, it was just giving me issues. It was annoying me, so I did it for as long as I could. I maybe carried it 7-8 months and I scrapped it. So going back to this, I call it a little bit new and improved because I lightened things up a little bit. Some of the things are still the same. First and foremost, I still maintain that original SOE makes the best belts. I've tried a lot of good quality belts, including Galco, and all of those are great, but for me and to me, the SOE EDC belt line is just by far the best. So I'm still running the low profile one that has the G-hook instead of the buckle. So that hasn't changed. This belt is great. I've ran it through, I guess technically 2.5 classes since I've owned it. Wear it every day. It's great. Another thing that hasn't changed, I still carry this little stream light. This is the ProTac 2L, a little 200 lumen light. I've changed the battery once in it, used it quite a bit. I did recently get to use it quite a bit in a Force on Force class down at Tactical Response when I got to partake in the active shooter class. And for me, the size, the weight, and the output of this light is plenty. I think 200 lumens is great. One thing I have changed probably since the last time I did a video, changed my EDC blade. This isn't anything super fancy, it's just a Spyderco. I believe this is the Spyderco Endura 4 Wave. So as you can see there, it has the Emerson Wave. I like this because it's pretty light, it's a slim, good handle, I got a good grip on it, and it has nearly a 4-inch blade. So, and I definitely like the Wave feature. So I upgraded that. I stopped carrying it in my pocket for no particular reason. I just wanted to try something different, so I started using an actual a pocket pouch. I think this is a cheap one. This is just a DeSantis, but if you can tell, hopefully you can make it out on the camera. It's got a bunch of bubbled, kind of raised textures, so this really grips the inside of your pocket, and that way you can orient the spare mag to how it needs to be. I carry it in my left front pocket, and in the spare mag, I'm still running the solid copper Corbon 124 grain plus P 9mm rounds. So my favorite rounds, and of course a Glock brand Glock magazine. Another thing that I updated to and changed was I changed tourniquets, and I took this one off so you can kind of see it. I usually just kind of wind it up tight with a rubber band, but when I went to take it off for the video, it went shooting across the room and it snapped, so I'll have to replace the rubber band. But this is the Rats tourniquet. Essentially, I'm not going to go into too much detail of what style this is, but I will tell you a few things. It's kind of it's a more or less like a bungee, super stretchy material as opposed to the TK4 tourniquet that I've been known to carry for the past couple years. The thing that changed my mind about when considering carrying different tourniquets was, again, going back to that Force on Force class, which, let me kind of go off on a little tangent. First of all, if you guys are into training and you like to get skilled up, I definitely suggest that you make it a priority to take some sort of, Force on Force training used with simunition guns, the ones that shoot paint and stuff, because you act out a million different scenarios and you find out when it comes to what works and what doesn't, whether it comes to tactics and mindset, but also gear. You find out what works, you find out what works better, and in that class I quickly realized that the TK4 was falling a little bit short as far as tourniquets compared to this Rats one. This one is a million times more durable, it's faster because you can kind of pre-stage it. I usually go by like a 3-finger, and then you wrap it around. I'm not going to exhibit how to show this, and you bring it through here, and you put it around the appendage, and you just wrap it, and then you essentially take it and you slide it through this samurai hat looking thing, samurai helmet, and it locks into place. Well, these rats tourniquets compared to the TK4 is, I mean, obviously they're a million times more durable. You can get them on and off quicker. Well, you don't really need to worry about getting them off quick, but you can deploy them quicker, get them on people, and they're just more durable. So TK4s will work. TK4s are still good. I keep 2 in my car and 1 in the girlfriend's car and 1 in my range bag, but as far as when I'm going out and about, I always take this rat's tourniquet. So okay, that pretty much just leaves the gun. I kind of touched on it in an earlier video, how I wanted to switch to my Glock 19. You know, it's nothing special. It's just the one thing I did change was the sights. Hopefully you can see them on here. If I can get it in frame. I went with these Ameriglow Pro eye dots because the Wilson combat sights on there I just couldn't see. I had a hard time when I first started shooting the gun. It was okay, but then, you know, when I was practicing drawing it and, you know, speed shooting with it, I had a really hard time with it. Not much changes other than the sights. I did do something which I think is, I always thought was kind of, I don't know if it's corny or just weird, but you see guys doing videos on doing the 25-cent trigger job. It'll really help. Well, I was usually always of the mindset, if you just go out and shoot the piss out of your gun, run it, train with it, practice with it, that's good enough. It'll slicken up and it'll be fine. But I've been off work for a few days because I had a lower injury to my back, so I got bored, and that tends to get dangerous. So I did totally field strip it in the slide and the internals, and I did do a 25-cent trigger job. And I have to admit, begrudgingly, that yes, it does slightly improve the trigger. So it's a little bit slicker, slides a little bit easier, and it's just a little bit more crisp. So anyway, I did that. Again, still running Glock brand Glock magazines, also with the solid copper Corbon plus P defensive rounds. And this Glock rides still in the off-the-shelf Blade Tech Nano holster, and I've always kind of felt that Blade Tech and Galco, for the most part, out of anything that I've ever used, maintains the highest level of quality for just simply off-the-rack holsters. I've had this thing for, God, I don't know, maybe 2.5 years now, and you know, definitely has some wear marks on it, but it's held up great. It's nice and thin and lightweight. The gun locks in it very easily and very firmly, and it's extremely comfortable. And it also has a sweat guard for those of you dudes who are actually into that. I don't really mind. Most of the other holsters I run, for the like for the one for the SIG P320, the Green Force, it doesn't have a sweat guard, and it's equally as comfortable. But that's pretty much it. Few things I've updated, few things I think I've improved on. I slimmed down, I lightened up a little bit, and I'm gonna run with that for a while and see how it goes. So thanks for watching, and y'all take it easy.